Hi, I'm Matt Macon from the Vet Group. Welcome to our series of videos focused on milk quality. Over the next few months, we'll be releasing a series of short videos of 2 to 3 minutes trying to answer those questions most important to you, the dairy producer. We hope you find these videos useful, and if you need any further information, please don't hesitate to call the team at the Vet Group. Today we're talking to Zoe Vogels about treatment. Zoe, one of the most common questions that we get in the clinic from clients is, what's the strongest drug? Can you please explain the thinking as we answer that common question?
Okay, so I guess one thing I'd say about the antibiotics that we have in the market in Australia is that most of them are actually formulated to be effective against all the bacteria that cause mastitis. So I guess really there's no strongest antibiotic because most of them should be effective against all the bugs that are going to be treatable. Where they differ, I think, is in the length of treatment. So for example, if you're giving something and it's in the udder for 5 days, it's probably got a better chance of curing some of the bacteria than something that's only in the udder for a day and a half. Okay,
so another common question is about combination treatment. So using an intramammary in conjunction with an injectable. So again, how do we answer that even more complicated question?
Okay, so this is something that's, I guess the key thing is antibiotics work in different ways. So for example, some of them will work on the cell wall of bacteria, others work on proteins. It's important that whichever ones you combine, the intramammary and intramuscular, work in the same way so they don't kind of interfere in how they work. The other important thing is that you use an antibiotic that will actually get into the udder. So lots of antibiotics don't get into the udder, we want one that does. It's probably something that's done on a farm-by-farm basis with consultation with the vet, because what you advise for the intramuscular will depend on what intramammary you're using, and also to some extent what are the likely pathogens on your farm.
Okay, and then I guess the next series of questions is around probably an emerging trend to use anti-inflammatories in conjunction with your mastitis treatment. So do you just want to explain the role that anti-inflammatories can play?
Okay, so I guess we know that we often see mastitis cases where the cord is swollen and painful, and so obviously anti-inflammatories will reduce this swelling and reduce this pain, so certainly a happier cow. And there's also been some studies where they've looked at the reproductive performance of cows that have been given anti-inflammatories when they've had mastitis, and the theory is that if there's less inflammatory mediators in the body when cows are being joined, then they'll have better reproductive performance, and that's what some of these studies have shown, that it's not just about the mastitis and better animal welfare, it's also better reproductive performance as well.
Okay, and finally a question I guess around off-label use of lactation and intramammary products, and in particular extended duration therapies. Now, they come with a degree of risk that farmers need to be really careful about. Do you just want to talk us through your thinking in regards to that?
Yeah, I guess probably one key thing is that off-label use is off. Like if there's ever antibiotic residues, it's often that there's been off-label use. So for example, giving double doses or extended treatments without extending the withholding period of the milk afterwards. Unfortunately, there hasn't been any studies where they've actually been able to say, well, if you give 5 doses of this drug, you extend the withholding period by a certain amount. At the very so all we as vets can do is kind of give some real basic advice, such as double the milk withholding period. Extend it double it, and I guess the other thing is milk factories offer test for antibiotic residues, and so to take them up on that offer and test the milk before it goes into the vat.
Okay, so the key message is to be extremely careful, use the products as recommended, and if you want to use them differently, talk to someone at the Vet Group.
Yes.
Right, thanks Zoe.
No worries.